Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about a chilling true crime story that is not well known here in Australia, but it's a story that I find particularly intriguing. The story is about a man named Israel Keyes, who was a serial killer and serial rapist active in the United States from 2001 until his capture in 2012. Keyes killed at least 8 people, and it is believed that he may have killed more. He was known for his brutal methods of killing and for his use of kill kits which he buried in various locations around the country, which he would then retrieve and use to commit his murders. As you all know, the United States has a long history of notorious serial killers, but Keyes stands out for the level of premeditation and planning he put into his crimes. He was able to evade authorities for years due to his method of burying kill kits containing weapons and other tools he would use to commit his murders in various states and countries. He buried these kits in locations such as Alaska, Washington, Oregon, New York, Texas, Illinois, New England, and even Canada. Keyes was born in 1978 in Richmond, Utah, and he grew up in a strict religious household. He joined the army at the age of 18, and he served in various parts of the world, including Egypt, Kuwait, and Iraq. It's speculated that his time in the army may have played a role in his development as a killer, as he was trained in various forms of combat and had access to weapons. Keyes began his killing spree in 2001, and he continued to kill until his capture in 2012. His victims were from different parts of the country, and he killed them in different states, which made it difficult for authorities to connect the murders. He targeted both men and women, and his victims ranged in age from teenagers to the elderly. One of the most chilling aspects of Keyes' crimes is the fact that he was able to commit these horrific acts without showing any signs of guilt or remorse. He was described as a highly intelligent and calculating individual who was able to cover his tracks effectively. Keyes was finally captured in 2012, after he was caught using a stolen debit card in Alaska. During the interrogations, he admitted to the murders of 8 people, and he also provided information about other murders he committed, but authorities have not been able to confirm them. The victims that he admitted to killing were Bill and Lorraine Currier from Vermont, Samantha Koenig from Alaska, and Cynthia Hines from New York. Keyes was known for his brutal methods of killing, and he would often use a variety of methods to ensure that his victims were dead. He would use firearms, knives, and even strangulation to kill his victims. He would also often commit sexual assaults on his female victims before killing them. One of the most heartbreaking cases that Keyes admitted to was the murder of Samantha Koenig, a 18-year-old barista from Anchorage, Alaska. He kidnapped her from her workplace in February 2012, demanded a ransom from her family, and then killed her and disposed of her body in a remote location. Her remains were found nearly 2 months later. Keyes also admitted to the murder of Bill and Lorraine Currier, a couple from Essex, Vermont. He broke into their home in June 2011, tied them up, and then killed them both. The case remained unsolved for months until Keyes' arrest. After his arrest, Keyes was interviewed by the FBI and provided information about other murders that he had committed, but the authorities have not been able to confirm them. He claimed to have killed more than a dozen people across the country, but he never provided enough details for the authorities to confirm his claims. In December 2012, Keyes was charged with the murder of Samantha Koenig and the Curriers, and was held without bail. However, before he could be brought to trial, Keyes committed suicide in his jail cell. This case is a chilling reminder of the evil that can exist in the world, and the lengths that some individuals will go to in order to carry out their twisted desires. It's also a reminder of how difficult it can be for law enforcement to connect the dots and solve a case when a serial killer is traveling across state lines and using premeditation and planning to evade authorities. It's also important to note that Keyes' case also highlights the issue of serial killers committing crimes in different states, and the challenges it poses for law enforcement agencies in terms of cooperation and communication. The fact that he was able to bury kill kits in different states and countries shows how determined he was to continue his killing spree. As true crime enthusiasts, we often focus on the well-known serial killers, but it's important to remember that there are many other individuals like Israel Keyes who have evaded authorities for years and may still be out there. This case also serves as a reminder of the importance of keeping an open mind and not jumping to conclusions. When Kathleen Durst went missing in 1982, her husband Robert Durst became the prime suspect, despite a lack of evidence. It wasn't until many years later, When Robert Durst was arrested for the murder of his friend Susan Berman and eventually for the murder of Morris Black, that the investigation into Kathleen's disappearance was reopened. And it was only then that the evidence linking Durst to her murder began to surface. It's important to remember that true crime cases are not always cut and dry and that new information can come to light years after a crime has been committed. In conclusion, the case of Israel Keyes is a chilling reminder of the evil that can exist in the world, and the lengths that some individuals will go to in order to carry out their twisted desires. It's also a reminder of the importance of cooperation and communication between law enforcement agencies in different states and countries in order to effectively solve these types of cases. It's a case that I find particularly intriguing, and I hope you found it as interesting as I did. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Remember to always stay vigilant and aware of your surroundings, and if you ever find yourself in a situation where you suspect something is not right, trust your gut and contact the authorities.